Welcome back to KSP at Astra, starting off with putting a station over the Mun. But first, we did lose Edith Modney on one of our moon landing missions, specifically Endymion 3. And here's a cheap goodbye. Alright, now here's the Endymion 3 orbiter. It is in Mun orbit, and I believe our poor little Kerbal has been stuck up in space. Now, I did want to send the whole mission, but there was a problem. The recording was corrupted. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I didn't want the recording to be recorded, I basically ran out of space on my hard drive, and it ended up being messed up. But yeah, here is Billy Smith. He is on his way back home. He's sad that his fellow Kerbal is now no longer with us, as we have lost communications with her. AKA, I was trying to walk her underneath the ladder, and I tried to grab onto it, and it Kraken attack, and she just got launched at the ground at like Mach 4 and was obliterated. But here we are re-entering the atmosphere. Look at those re-entry plumes. Perfect. And we didn't end up too far away from the Kerbal Space Center. So that must have been good for Billy. He wouldn't have been in his suit very long. Here we are doing a little bit of extra science as we land here on the ground. Now we're starting off Astra 3 on an experimental Lazarus 1, our first ever reusable rocket. So here it is, taking off very, very slowly from the launch pad. Now we are speeding up to about 5 times speed. It is not a quick rocket. It is not a particularly powerful engine, but it is getting us off the ground with our 2 Kerbals on board, Billy Smith and Frel Bailey. I don't know. They're off to our space station, currently sitting in low Kerbal orbit. I actually forgot the name to our space station in orbit because I've been gone for so long. But here you see up in the top right corner, there is our second stage going back down to Earth as we are circularizing our orbit over the planet. But here we are re-entering, going through the atmosphere, absolutely screaming through the atmosphere. But here we are slowing down, breaking the speed of sound, and boom, full throttle, brake, and then fall over. Yep. Here we are, just kind of flipping about as we plan our rendezvous with our space station that I have forgotten the name of. And here we go. We are locking in, and we are going to be executing that little 11.5 meter per second burn. The lower stage for this is a little bit massive for this, but this is not actually going to be the final product of this. I just hadn't unlocked the capsule yet that I needed to. I want to put the 3-person capsule on top of that, but right now I only have the 2-person capsule, and this is kind of a small 2-person capsule, but it's big enough. It has a big enough docking port area, so I used this one for right now. But the next time you see me launch this rocket, it will have a 3-person capsule on the top. But yeah, the Astra. This is the 3rd Astra mission, and we're using it to actually restock a space station. Granted, it's not currently stocked because we had to rescue our other Kerbal last time. but that's fine. Here we are in an eclipse trying to dock with our space station here. There it is. So we come in, and very quickly we will be united with their home for the next couple of months. Well, I think we're just doing weeks. But yeah, there we are. It's Pioneer Station. I have finally restocked Pioneer Station after a long time. And there we go. It is now fully just up there in orbit. They're working away at it. Now here we are is Metzli Station. This is on a classified booster. That's what I'm just calling it whenever I was too lazy to actually come up with a good looking booster that I will be keeping in my slots of like regularly used boosters. Just a little too lazy this time. Yeah, here we are with our station as it's currently flying out into orbit. It's going to complete its circularization burn pretty quickly, and then it will be off to low Mun orbit. Now there is one slight caveat. It does not have enough delta V to actually reach low Mun orbit, but there is going to be a second piece that will be rendezvousing with it in like a higher Mun orbit, and that will help it lower its orbit down to the desired distance. Now this station will be a kind of a staging ground. It's where we will hold our more permanent reusable landers, so that we can launch Astra missions to this station for crew and for crew and supplies to this station, and then from this station it can be moved down to the surface on a more powerful, more reusable lander rather than send a lander every single time. Now here we are on this little tiny kick stage that will get us to the Mun and be able to slow us down enough so that we don't just fly away from the Mun, because that would be unfortunate. Yeah, here we are finally making the polar orbit. Yeah, we're trying to make it a polar orbit specifically so that we can have access to the South Pole. That's one of the reasons why Endymion 3 was sent to the South Pole, but sadly the video was corrupted. And yeah, so we sent Endymion 3 to the South Pole to look for water ice, but that's not really why we sent it there. I just sent it there as like a pathfinding mission, and we will be putting our permanent base down on the South Pole in an area that gets nearly permanent sunlight once we can get solar panels that actually rotate. Right now we do not actually have any solar panels that rotate, but once we get those, we will finally set up a base on the Mun. But here we are, just orienting the station, and we are about to launch the new station. Not the new station, but the eventual thing that will get us there. So this is launching on a Triton 1. It's the PAC module, which stands for Power and Control. It will also store fuel and monopropellant. But here it is, launching into the upper atmosphere. I finally have the atmosphere, like the atmospheric guidance tech tree node finally unlocked. So all of these missions today have actually just gone up on their own, which is really nice because it allows me to do better, more cinematic shots of them as it flies up into the upper atmosphere. But yeah, that little brown piece right there, that is the power and control module. It is designed to basically just have enough fuel to kind of move us around whenever we need it, just in case like repeated dockings end up knocking us way too far from where we want to be in orbit. It can help us raise our orbit, anything like that. It'll be perfect, to say the very least. But here we are, finally finishing up our time in just Kerbin's orbit. And now we're going to be transferring to the Mun, as we basically just kind of experience this area. Now, the Mun orbits are kind of complex. It's basically experiencing a rectilinear orbit, but not really. It was inspired by the Artemis missions, but you can't really make you can't really make NRHO in KSP unless you have Principia, and I just don't want to deal with Principia because Principia has issues with the mods where you can build stuff in space, which I wanted to use towards the late game in this mod pack, or not even the late game, or the mid game in this mod pack. And I just don't see it being a good thing to have overall. Like not overall, but like a good thing to have in the long run if I want to do that, since it does have issues with that. Yeah, here we are getting a rather ambitious encounter with the station. And here we go. All right. So this station will become operational very soon. I apologize for not having uploaded for several weeks. I was first in Indiana, and then I was doing, I was basically struggling to get my summer finals done. And then I proceeded to go to Maine, of all places. I also went to Ocala, which is where I'm from. It's where my family lives. But I also spent it was 7 days in Maine. I spent 7 days in Maine. It was really cool. I'd never been to Maine before, even though I had previously lived for about 6 months in Massachusetts. I had never been to Maine, and it was pretty cool. Like I think the geography there is really cool. I was in Bristol, Maine. If you've ever been to Bristol, Maine, that's what I was doing. It's a pretty beautiful area. But enough about that. I'm starting a new semester of school. So yeah, I'll be back to making a little bit more videos. Here I am. We're finally fixing up our orbit so that we have enough for the contract, and we are set. This will be pretty much the end of our video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being patient with my upload schedule, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, which should be coming out next week. Bye.